Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the Purposeful Pariah, formerly known, of course, as Hip-Gnosis, Eric Lee Musey, Biggie, as some know me. This is just going to be a brief message today. I have some slight concern that I want to share with anybody that listens to this, friends, family, or any stranger out there that happens to stumble upon this video. I'm hoping all of you are keeping an eye on what's going on in the world, and it's not out of, paranoia. And this video or this audio obviously is definitely not to bring upon anyone any anxiety or, from the thought of fear-mongering. But facts are facts, and there is a massive, like 90% possibility that within the next few months, possibly even weeks, that there will be a nuclear war, international nuclear war between several countries, as this is now becoming an international, multinational conflict that is going on with Ukraine and NATO, and of course Russia, and sanctions that are being placed upon Russia from America. And so, of course, this inflation is already hurting people, but it's going to double, triple, and quadruple within the coming weeks. So, essentially, I just want everybody that's listening to prepare emotionally, psychologically, but most of all, spiritually. If you do not know Yeshua yet, if you do not have a relationship with God, if you do not have any relationship with any spiritual being, a divinity, something external outside of yourself that can bring you peace and comfort in the midst of chaos and catastrophe and tragedy, then I suggest you do a prayer. You humble yourself, let go of your ego, any pride, let go of any anger, frustration, any resentment, and you just have to say, listen, this is beyond me. I need help. Whomever you are out there, if there is a God, please speak to me and help me and give me the peace that Eric, the Purposeful Pariah, has been discussing and mentions in this video. And I truly believe that God will respond to you. It's an extreme level of importance that anybody and everybody out there has some form of relationship with God, and just to nurture it, to cultivate it, strengthen it, enhance it, amplify your love, your compassion, your empathy, strategize as a person, as a man or woman, try to be more stealth-like and tactical in your endeavors and your steps taken. But at the end of the day, everything is in God's hands. And, take heed. I beseech all of you that, to truly take heed to these warnings that I am giving you, and that I believe a lot of prophecies are being thrown at us on a daily basis with wars and rumors of wars, and things are going on. And of course, there's always been war. There's always been, massive national, international catastrophes and, weather problems, climate issues. But when you start connecting dots with regard to the I guess you could say how they're all being connected and happening concurrently, simultaneously occurring between earthquakes, hurricanes, power outages, electric bills are skyrocketing, a conflict in the Middle East, Iran and Israel, and of course Pakistan and Syria. Now, of course, there's a resurgence of ISIS and ISIL, and then now, of course, Russia being buddies with Iran, and Iran is now discussing the annihilation of Israel being an ally to America, and Russia's upset with Israel for what it does to Pakistan. And a lot of people are ignoring or dismissing the reality of what's going on in Yemen. There is a massive genocide. There is famine going on. There are food shortages, supply chain issues, and of course most of this is all man-made. It's a sad thing, because those in power just want to remain in power, and if they have to create as much catastrophe, sadness, and death in the process to keep that power, and by amplifying the fear level by creating such nasty catastrophes and calamities worldwide, they will continue to do so until the people submit and, acquiesce to what's going on and just give in to the fear and give in to all the anxiety and submit themselves in complete psychological subjugation and societal sedation. And, at the end of the day, I feel it is my life purpose, as it's always been. As when I was younger, I used to be a preacher. I used to be a youth pastor, and I still feel an obligation even more now, because there were many, I would say more than a decade, that I had backslid, and I do not want to waste any more time of my time, your time, or God's time. And I feel that, this channel is designed to bring forth information that either is unknown, or some people may have just spots and sprinkles of information, and I try to gather all the information, share it, dispense it, disperse it to all of you. And hopefully the energy behind my voice, the energy of the information being dispensed and articulated in a way, it's something that can at least have your spirit feel urged, and it's being tugged on, and maybe there's something in you that can say there's something to what this pariah is saying. And just do the research. I can tell you Agenda 21 is the equivalent to what you've heard, Agenda 2030, which is a part of what is more commonly known in modern day as the Great Reset with Klaus Schwab. And there is no real difference. They're just different names or different faces to the same serpent, which is extremely serpentine and working through the media, working through the perpetuation of fear, using the media and multiple outlets throughout the world, including the powerful governments and First Nation powers that be, to instigate more fear. And I'm sure at this point that there is no doubt people should see the inflation as psychotic with the gas, which is a direct result of the lack of potency of the current presidential candidate and or the one in place and its administration. I would say there is a beast that's running this nation, and he's got some buddies that's working with him to very purposefully destroy this nation from within. Because at the end of the day, when you know the ultimate goal, then you can recognize the steps that are happening around the world. Because, in all sincerity and honesty, you can say, listen, in order to have a one world government, you have to destroy all current known governments. And how do you do that? And so conveniently, everything is collapsing. Many countries are going into starvation. And literally, that's not even speaking metaphorically, allegorically, figuratively. This is straight up facts that are happening. And the best way to control people psychologically is to control their source of food. And of course, America is very well known in controlling your source of information. So now they're like, well, we've controlled a good amount of information, and we think it's time now to control the actual food. If we can control the food, we control the masses. They will truly submit to us whatever we say, and they will do what we ask. If we tell them, you do this, we will supply you rations. If you do not do it, then you will be an outcast, a pariah to society. Now, that just ties in the fact, and it's a good segue, that I can say, listen, I am the purposeful pariah. I recognize that what I speak, what I say, will be dismissed, ignored, spit upon, hated. I will be labeled and named, and I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I don't live for the people. I live for the purpose that was given to me, bestowed upon me by the Lord God, the creator of the heavens and the earth and all that in them is. I am the purposeful pariah. I will be, if I have to be, and I humbly say and make this association, I will be the modern day John the Baptist if need be. I will be the one that looks crazy, eating the locust in the wilderness with sackcloth and ashes upon my head, figuratively speaking, for now at least. And I will speak boldly, brazenly. I will be the truth. I will emit, exude, and I will definitely dispense, disperse, verbalize, articulate, convey all necessary information grounded in facts, tethered by the truth, and in the truth, with God speaking through me as an instrument. I believe we are literally in the last days. And days, of course, is very, I guess you could say, subjective. Many people have said Jesus is coming back. Yeshua will return soon, soon, soon. And of course, the word soon has already been over 2,000 years. But you have to look at it from the perspective of divinity, that the return has not occurred yet because God is being so gracious, bestowing immense love and allowing more people to hear the truth, hear the gospel that this God chose to become physical flesh to suffer the immensity and potency of something so evil, defined and labeled as sin, chose to fall upon the wages of sin, which is death, suffered the death on our behalf, and then offers us the gift of, if you choose to follow his son, Yeshua, Hamashiach, if you choose to follow, simply say, Lord, come to me. Please forgive me of my wrong. I know I am a good person in the eyes of man, but I am weak and I am blemished and I am tarnished in your eyes. I do not have your righteousness. I only have the righteousness of man. I need you, Lord, and I ask you to please cleanse me, make me white as snow, forgive me, bestow upon me your grace, your love, your compassion, and work through me as an instrument. Use my skills and my talents. And if you can say and do these things, God will lovingly open his heart and open your heart so he can reside within it. Right now, God cries, and Yeshua has not returned because God is allowing more and more to be saved. And I am just a mere instrument, and I am opening that door as well through this channel, though this channel will be providing information on politics, psychology, self-improvement, relationships, even geopolitics, history, interaction, even just everyday comedic and comical value every now and then. At the end of the day, everything that I speak, I feel is being blessed through the Lord Yeshua, and I'm doing my part to live up to the purpose I feel that God has bestowed upon me. And with that being said, going back to what I was saying, is that we truly are in these last days, and I cannot ignore the fact that that is real. And knowing that that is real, it's important that I maintain what I'm doing, and I maintain my path, and I continue to live up to my purpose, trying to share this information. So yes, people, going back to how I started this audio/video MP4 for YouTube, I beg all of you to just at least take heed. Even if you don't like my voice, you don't like my words, all you have to do is literally take a peek at what's going on in the world. Even if you don't like politics, pay attention to how much more money you're spending on your grocery, how much more you're paying at the pump. This isn't just regular inflation. You need to connect the dots. Do a little bit of research. I'm telling you, look up Klaus Schwab, Klaus. Last name Schwab, Schwab. He's the founder and director of the World Economic Forum. He has introduced in 2020 the Great Reset. He even has a book titled The Great Reset. For any and all of you that may claim that I'm speaking garbage and none of it is founded in truth, you go to Amazon.com, look up Klaus Schwab, The Great Reset, you will see the book. You want a copy of it? Purchase it. It's around $10. And he tells you his quote-unquote plan for the World Economic Forum, which essentially consists of the same nations of the United Nations and NATO. So it's not a coincidence. They're all tethered. They're all tied in. It's one big beast that appears to be separate entities, but they all work together. So it appears that, world governments are coming together for the betterment and the growth of all humanity. But in the end of the day, this was all designed. This was all planned. This has all been pushed, perpetuated, and initiated and executed as an evil plan from day one. And in November, December of 2019, with C-19, the COVID, was the initiation, the initial step to entering into the path, the final years for them to make sure they execute the plan, to make sure the erection of their world government with a digital currency, controlling every man and woman with a digital wallet, and whether they can shut it off or not at any moment, whether you are deemed a dissident, a seditious individual, seditious in temperament and vocab, sharing or dismissing what they want you to say or speak or claim, they will easily and quickly shut off what they deem as fake news. And, with all that being said, look into Agenda 2030 / Agenda 21. It was something that was developed in 1992. This is not fake news. This is legit. Connect it and then start looking at what's going on today. And it's not a coincidence with now they're talking about climate change and how we may be rationing food and energy in the coming years, and it's already happening here. And now that we're having a conflict with Russia, Ukraine, and all these sanctions is causing a massive increase in the declination of very specific resources such as uranium, several ingredients that actually create pesticides, the pesticides necessary to farm. And now thousands of farmers are not even able to offer crops because they don't have the chemicals inside. They don't have the chemicals inside to produce, to even plant any seeds, to expect any crops. And other farmers who were able to get their hands on the seeds necessary or on the material that's necessary to have a harvest, they've lost their crops. Hundreds of thousands of acres, millions of acres when you think of it around the world, have been damaged and destroyed, wiped out through what we now call climate change, which I believe in weather modification, which is what they call as geoengineering, which is really, subsurface or underground word that conspiracy theorists or truthers define as, it's called chemtrails. They dispense chemicals into the air, supposedly, to block off the extra, ultraviolet light to protect humanity. But at the end of the day, we know they don't care about humanity. All they care about is money and power. So they are destroying the earth, destroying the people, destroying the water. All resources are being destroyed, simultaneously fooling the populace through lies that are perpetuated through perpetuity, I should say, for decades now, and now specifically being pushed as a massive propaganda to all the news, in which now most people are actually believing that there is some massive climate issue, not realizing a lot of the weather, even earthquakes, tornadoes, all that is being modified, engineered. It's being created to destroy certain lands and crops. And now we got so-called the chicken flu. So now they're destroying millions of chicken. So of course, this is only going to increase the massive possibility, if not the eventuality, of not only a food shortage, but a famine. And not only in America, not in Venezuela, Costa Rica, it's happening, it's going to happen, it's going to be a global famine. And the people will be forced to kneel to any system that provides a possible solution, an articulated, formal, social discussion that will produce what they claim is a solution to the problem. And the people will want to submit themselves in order to make sure they have food, to make sure they can provide for their families. So going back to what I said earlier, you need to prepare mentally, emotionally, and in the process, shop for extra water, canned goods, rice and flour. All those prices are going to skyrocket in the coming weeks. So whatever you spend for today, even if it's expensive, it will be 2, 3, 4, 5 times more expensive in the following weeks. So get it now. And you don't have enough space, just get an extra case of water, Every now and then when you shop, just get an extra 2 or 3 cans of vegetables, canned fruit, canned chicken. Just stock up slowly if necessary. You just got to think about when the time comes and people finally realize and come to grips to the reality that there is a food shortage, and all of a sudden now there will be rationing, and the military will get involved and make sure people are only purchasing a very small amount in order to spread the so-called quote-unquote goods, which are the products. Then people are going to say, well, not all my children are going to eat tonight. And then what? What do you think human nature will produce at that moment? It will produce a vile, disgusting, monstrous, and atrocious behavior in order to survive, to provide for their families. So prepare for that. This is not fear-mongering. I don't care what anybody says. These are facts. Pay attention to what's going on. Things are happening. You need to prepare now. Like I said, even with kinetic weaponry, ballistics, you need to get that. Get knives, axes, get a compass. But of course, you need food and water. If you have access to land, start planting. You have access to a lot of water, get a well, create a well, whatever you can do, you need to do now. There is no waiting period. Don't wait until you hear it on mainstream news, because by the time you do hear it on mainstream news, it's too late. They are not going to save you. You need to save yourself with this kind of circumstance. And in the process, the ultimate saving is through and by God. So humble yourselves, pray for guidance, that your decision making is focused and guided by the Lord, and that you make decisions that are not just, I guess you could say, not hasty, but very decisive. They're focused, they're disciplined, they're preparatory, and they will be a blessing. Even if you don't see the blessing now, trust me, when there is a rationing of food and supplies, you will be thankful that you listened to the word of the Lord, that you prepared, and you will at least be able to provide, even if it's temporary. And from that point on, I truly believe in my heart, in my gut, in my spirit, my soul, my heart and mind, God will provide. But the only way God will provide is if you fully commit and submit yourself to God, to his path and his purpose. God will never let his children suffer the immensity of pain and struggle that is about to befall the human race, because we are about to enter into a time of trouble and tribulation that is going to be instigated and perpetuated through the beast system. It is happening now. Please take heed, pay attention, focus, do what you got to do. An extra $20, go to Dollar Tree, get extra paper towels, buy extra cases of water, get extra canned food, Vienna sausage, stock up. Anything helps. And every time you have a few extra bucks, always add a little extra to your grocery. Always add a little extra. You got to think about not just this week's dinner or meals. You got to think about when there is nothing left. Supermarkets shut down, and you know that people are going to be hungry and ravenous and start behaving as savages. You need to think of that. Prepare now. Number one, bow your head and pray to God and say, God, please, Lord, enter my heart. Forgive me, strengthen me, help me prepare myself and my family, all my loved ones, family and friends, all those that I care for, and give me the strength to be the leader that I need to be in order to lead and to secure a sense of urgency, a sense of leadership for those that I love. And once that is done, I truly believe God will enter your heart, and God will help you in your decision making, and you will be better off than 95% of the human population. I must tell you, God is the only true solution. Everything else is just human preparation, but God is the ultimate solution. We got to prepare not only for what's happening and what's going to happen, but we must prepare for eternity. And whatever does happen from this point forward, no one can say they did not know. The world is literally on the verge of collapse. The US dollar is going to collapse within this year. Within this year, 2022, I'm almost 100% confident the US dollar is on the verge of collapse. Anybody paying attention or heard anything? Syria and Saudi Arabia have been having conversations with China and Russia and Libya, and they're all having conversations on changing the petrodollar, the usage of the petrodollar no longer being the world currency, and Saudi Arabia, all the oil producers will now be accepting the yuan and rubles, which is the Chinese and Russian currencies. And Russia having a massive amount of deposit of oil, they are only accepting rubles, which now means anybody in Europe and America who wants to truly, out of necessity, buy oil to have energy, they have to go to Russia and convert their currency into Russian currency, rubles, to then purchase the oil at a higher rate. Either they do that or they don't have. And if they don't have, all those countries are going to slowly, one by one, collapse, including their currencies. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Austerity is around the corner for all nations. America is not special. We are blessed as of right now. That blessing is soon about to be withdrawn for the hard-headedness, the stubborn arrogance of this nation that I deem and label as Babylon the whore. She has made the world drink of the wine of her fornication, and the fornication being the introduction and the perpetual coercion of all spiritual and disgusting immoral beliefs and systems that have applied and coerced upon our school system, corrupting and destroying family households, nationalities, races being suppressed. This nation is corrupt. Capitalism is corrupt. You need to think about the beauty of capitalism. I'm able to record on a device made through capitalism, but capitalism has also coerced other nations to dig and destroy those nations, to steal their resources, to produce the fractal of elements and manufacturing pieces in order to create this device that I record on. So I recognize the hypocrisy of my statement, but it's the reality that I was born and raised in this nation. But I recognize the facts. America is corrupt. America is evil. America is about to collapse. We need to prepare. That's it. We need to prepare. There is no arguing. There is no debate. Pay attention to what's going on. Use your intuition. Don't listen to the news. Use your intuition. Go around and look at how prices have skyrocketed 50, 60, 70%. It's not an accident, and it's only going to get worse. Then if you do want to do research, then look up what's happening with the Fed. What are their plans? They want to introduce the central bank digital currency, hopefully by the end of the year. Elizabeth Warren, a politician in government, she's pushing the government to introduce that. Of course, the CBDC has already been in discussion several years, but now we can justify it as an introduction and implementation into society because of everything that's going on. Hence, they create the problem, await our reaction, so then they can offer the solution. Okay? That's exactly what's going on. So prepare. Pay attention. Take heed. I beseech all of you. I love all of you. Please, I ask that you all subscribe. Please help me continue to spread and share the awareness of this information. I believe more people need to know this. And anybody wants to write to me, please just write in the comments. And apart from that, I'm a strong advocate of mental health. Anybody that has problems, you feel insecure, you feel weak, if you feel emotionally destitute, or you need somebody to communicate with, please reach out to me, leave a comment. I will reach out. Give me your email, give me your number. I will reach out. I will do my best to accommodate and alleviate any daily burdens to try to make time for anybody. I will do my best to try to help. You know, you are strong. You are a child of God. You have a purpose. You just need to find it, recognize it, and immediately use it, utilize it for the blessing of others through the power and grace of the Lord, Yeshua HaMashiach. Thank you. I love all of you. Please subscribe, hit the notification. Please share this video with family and friends. I would appreciate it, and help me spread more awareness. Please take heed and do what you got to do. I love all of you. Peace.